The first strategy I'm going to recommend to you is that you make two plans. The first one is a COVID-19 Preparedness and Response Plan, which will help you right now to manage the pandemic. And it's required by the state of Michigan if you are bringing employees or customers back to your business. And the second is a business continuity plan, and that's a crisis management plan for your business that will actually help you out now and also will help you out with any crises that you may face in the future. So we're going to talk about each one of these now. So the first thing is a COVID-19 Preparedness and Response Plan. On May 21st, 2020, Governor Whitmer issued Michigan Executive Order 2020-97, which requires businesses to create a preparedness and response plan, which I will now call a P&R plan. The order that was entered is titled Safeguards to Protect Michigan Workers from COVID-19. Now, friends, if you've ever waited in line to get into Trader Joe's or Plum Market in the last few weeks, or you've gone to an office and had your temperature taken, this is the order that required those things be done. This order describes the requirements for protecting employees, contractors, and customers at your business from COVID-19, for example, by requiring face masks, taking temperatures, putting signs on the doors of a business, putting protective barriers in front of a customer, or offering special hours for the elderly, for example. And even if you don't have a business, it's worth reading this order because you'll learn so much about what our new, quote, normal is going to look like. Your preparedness and response plan must comply with OSHA guidelines and all of the state's executive orders, which there have been many, many executive orders issued. And there are specific and different requirements for different industries, like if you're in retail, or you have a doctor or dental practice, you're running a restaurant, or even if you're just in an office building. And if you own a business, your plan must be in effect and available to employees and customers to review by June 1st or within 2 weeks of your reopening date. So my recommendation is that you have a plan in place before the business reopens. Now, if you're creating a plan, it requires you to ask yourself and your employees, who can be very helpful too, what is it about this workplace that needs to be changed to make it safer and to reduce the risk of virus transmission? And then figuring out specific steps to minimize the risk of infection and putting it in writing. So for example, I recently created a plan for a group of therapists who treat adults and children. And here are some of the issues that they grappled with in creating their P&R plan. For example, they have a shared high traffic kitchen, and they were wondering how are they going to be able to utilize it and yet keep it sanitized and safe. There's also bathrooms in the hallways that are maintained by the building owner, not by the therapist. So how do they ensure safety for their patients who use those bathrooms? They also needed a screening process and temperature taking for patients who are entering the practice. And they're discovering that both therapists and patients are struggling with wearing masks during treatment sessions. A therapist counts on facial cues as part of treatment, and patients cry and sometimes they blow their noses. So they're finding that the masks are impacting their sessions. But if they don't take precautions, parents won't feel comfortable bringing their children to the practice. So there are struggles that are going to ensue for businesses as they're creating these plans. Now, it might seem like a lot of work to draft a plan, but having a P&R plan in place is extremely valuable to you as a business owner. First of all, your employees want to feel safe returning to the workplace. Employees expect business owners to take steps to ensure their well-being and safety during a pandemic, or they won't return, or they'll report violations to the state. So you need to protect your employees. Second thing is, your customers need to feel safe in the business. And we see this evidence of this on Facebook all the time. Parents will post that even if the mall opened, day camps open, restaurants are opening, they're not willing to go to the stores and take the risk of exposure. And people comment on whether an employee is wearing a face mask at a store or when they pick up carryout at a restaurant. If there's no mask, they say they're not going back. However, when they see masks are being worn, signs are posted on doors, efforts are being made by businesses to keep their customers safe and healthy, then customers are willing to return and they praise your business online. So you need to create a plan that addresses your employee and customer concerns for safety, follow the rules, and enforce the plan. And the plan will benefit you. It helps you limit your liability as an employer. So getting back to this slide, one of the issues is that under Executive Order 2020-97, if you fail to comply with the order, you will be deemed to have, quote, failed to provide a safe workplace under the Michigan Occupational Safety and Health Act. And OSHA violations can cost a business tens of thousands of dollars and open them up to possible lawsuits. So an investment now in a plan is very valuable later. Once a plan is drafted, you need to communicate it and publicize that plan to your employees and customers to show that you are putting their safety first. And the executive order states it shall be publicized via website, internal network, or by hard copy.